A fire and an evacuation? Probably not something that you want to be involved with on your vacation. Let's talk about our experience. Coming right up. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy, and before we get started talking about our experience here at Marriott's Oceana Palms in Riviera Beach on Singer Island in Florida with that fire and evacuation, I want to let you know on this channel I like to share some of my best tips, strategies, and advice on how to help you get the most from your timeshare ownership. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Also, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video. Okay, so we are here at beautiful Marriott's Oceana Palms on Singer Island in Florida, and we had a unique, kind of interesting experience on Thursday evening at about 9 o'clock or a little bit after 9 p.m. We heard a very loud knock on our door, and our Do Not Disturb was actually on, so we knew something was up. When we answered the door, it was an employee informing us that they had a mandatory evacuation of our building. So we were actually cooking at the time, so had to turn off the stove, move everything off the burners, put on some shoes, and basically kind of head out because we weren't really in any shape to go out. So only took us a few minutes, and we headed downstairs. There was absolutely no alarm, so we didn't know whether we could take the stairs or the elevator, so we ended up just taking the elevator. We're on the 19th floor, so you don't want to be thinking like, what would that be, like 40 flights of steps almost? So we weren't looking forward to that, so we actually took the elevator. There was no instruction one way or the other. It said it was an evacuation. We didn't know whether it was a gas leak, a fire. There was absolutely no alarms whatsoever. Now, when we were on the elevator, we could hear some kind of faint type of, almost like a voice speaking, coming, well, I don't know if it was from the speaker on the elevator or what that was, but couldn't really make out what it sounded. But when we got down to the ground floor and went outside, it was kind of mayhem. People standing everywhere, and there was fire trucks and fire rescue. And actually, at one point in time, it looked like there was actually up to 4 fire trucks and 2 fire rescue vehicles as well. So just kind of a rather interesting experience when you get outside and you see all of these fire trucks. And with fire trucks, there were firefighters, and they were going inside, all their gear on, axes in hand. So it was kind of a scary experience, not really knowing what was happening. What we kind of learned from talking to other people and overhearing some of the firefighters talking to people is that there was a fire on the 8th floor, and when we were actually down outside, we could see a strobe in one of the villas, coming from one of the villa balconies, a strobe light, and it basically looked like it was Villa 2081, so 8th floor, Villa number 1, and apparently there was a kitchen fire there that actually did set off a sprinkler. So the sprinkler is up above, kind of where the laundry room is, which is kind of a little bit away from where the stove is. So if there was a fire on the stove or involving the stove, and it set off that sprinkler, which then caused a lot of water. So basically what we were kind of told as the evening went on was that if you were in the 8th floor or below, you weren't going to be able to go back into your villa. And if you were on the 9th or above, you could go back in, is what we were told at one point in time. We decided to actually kind of wait because we knew that there would be quite a few people trying to go back in. So we waited maybe another half an hour. I went up and asked again, and then they said, well, we're not quite ready to send people back in because we would need to wait for an all clear. But we waited maybe another half hour longer. We were out there a total of about an hour and a half. So from about 10 after 9 to almost 11 o'clock, or about 10:45 is when we actually got back up to our villa here on the 19th floor. So definitely an interesting experience with the fire. Now, I will admit that the communication was not very well from the Marriott staff. They could have done a better job. They really need to have like a megaphone or something so they can talk to people. They kind of walked up and kind of gathered people around and told a few people, and then by the time the story got to somebody, it was like 3 or 4 rows back that couldn't hear. It was basically, well, if you're in the 8th floor or above, you get to go back to your room, which that wasn't the case. So not very good, not a very good communication method there. They don't seem to have the right tools to communicate with the guests that are kind of wondering what's going on. So thankfully, it doesn't seem like anybody was injured, so that's good. Didn't see anybody being brought out of the building for fire rescue, so not really sure if there was any injuries. It doesn't look that way, so that's definitely a good sign. But the 8th and 7th floor definitely have some water damage. We were coming back up from the pool today. I actually hit the button on the 8th floor to see what was going on there. I didn't go out. Well, I stuck my head out. And they have these big, huge fans just trying to dry everything out. So they probably have them on the 7th floor as well. An interesting experience, and not something you really want to spend your vacation time doing, is evacuating a tall, essentially sky-rise building due to a fire. But thankfully, everything looks like it was good. Everyone was safe. That is obviously number one. So definitely a good sign. Now I hope they were able to reaccommodate those people on the 7th and 8th floors as well. Okay, so there you have it. That is our experience. And we've actually been involved in 3 fire alarms in just the last 4 months at Timeshare. Once at Vistana Beach Club, literally the alarm was going off in the middle of the day, loudspeaker saying that the alarm is going off and you need to evacuate, and we were on the top floor. We had to go all the way down, and then we got down like nobody's like even acknowledging that there's a fire alarm. I go into the check-in area where the check-in staff is still there, and I'm like, is there a fire alarm? And they're like, oh, no, it's a false alarm, but we have no way of communicating that, and we're working on turning it off. And then at Ocean Point as well, our I guess our smoke detector in our room somehow malfunctioned, and it was going off in the middle of the night. And we actually called down, and they came up and basically just pulled it off the wall and took it away. And then the next day, they came back and replaced it. So just something wrong with the smoke detector there at Ocean Point. I gotta wait. We're having a good time over there. So in the span of 4 months, 3 fire alarms at Timeshare. We don't have a very good track record. So if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos about Timeshare, check out the What to Watch Next section in the description box below. And if you want to see another video about Marriott's Ocean Point here on Singer Island, check out this video right up here on YouTube. They think you'll like this one down here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. You can do so by clicking on my picture right here. Hit that notification bell. And remember, until next time, the best destination is always a timeshare.